Most of us, let's say, train models in float 32, and it's super accurate but heavy. They, let's say, eat up the GPU memory, run slower on edge devices, especially on edge devices, and are not friendly for real-time applications. If you have any real-time application, you have to, let's see, reduce the size of the model, as we will see in this video here using quantization. And the quantization, as you can see here, the quantization, this is the original model, which is 30 uh, megabytes, and this is the static and dynamic, only 8 bytes. And this is the result of floating point 32, and this is the result of integer 8 after, let's see, quantization. I will just show you the process. But before going to dive into the implementation, I will just let you know that we have, for the quantization, we have two different quantization. It's a dynamic or a static quantization. Dynamic, it's think of it as uh, fly comparison, let's say comparison. It just compares the model. The model weights are converted into integer 8, but the activation are still the same as the, let's say, 32 floating point. And so the dynamic, it's quick, easy, and no extra data needed. But but the accuracy can sometimes drop because the range of the training data, it might be in different from the quantized. Let's say the estimated. It will be estimated dynamically. And for the static quantization, sorry, this is a real deal, I would say. Before deployment, we actually feed the model with representative image, usually from the training set. I will just use the training set, and the model observes the typical range of the activations and weight. Then ONNX look these ranges in a given, let's see, give you uh, much, let's say, accurate quantization. In short, static quantization take more pre-processing, let's see, but usually deliver better accuracy and better speed. So hopefully you know now the difference between dynamic and static. So let me just now jump to the implementation. As I say here, you can see this is the model ONNX, this is the quantized dynamic, and here's the static. So the static, we need somehow uh, image. Let's see, it's a training. We have to use the training images. Let's see here. So before, let's say you have already convert the model into ONNX model, but you need now, if you would like to quantize the model, you need now extra tools. Let's see, libraries, which is, I will assume that you have already ONNX, and now we need to install this ONNX tools. And this ONNX tools will import all of this here, for instance, quantized dynamic, quantized static, quantized type, quantized format, and calibration. If we will use it in our, let's say, static quantization, and also some other model. This you can see here. This is loading the images. If I'm using the static quantization, I need some training data set just to see the range of the activations and weights and etc. So here you can see I have maximum number of samples, 100. It might be enough, and I will use the same parameters that I have been used in the for the training. So let's say this is already clear. I mean, this one is just to load the data and normalize it and etc. So now this is the dummy reader, let's see, the class, just to read the calibration data. And I will just move to the next object here, the next function. And you can see here I have ONNX. Now that I add four different parameters indeed. Uh, one for dynamic quantization, one for static, and number of samples in the static, and also the calibration directory, the images that will be used for the quantization. Let's see, for the calibration. And let's just jump to the ONNX model. This will see if the ONNX model itself, I mean the original one, floating point 32. And in here we have quantize step. If this one is true, it will just quantize in dynamic. And this is for the static. For the static, you can see we have to add the calibration data, and the calibration data will be taken from it as a parameter, and it will be sent from the main. And you can see uh, this will calibrate the data and put it as in the quantizing static. You can see the mirror data reader. Now, some parameters here you can see format is QD, and there's also operator. Try to check, let's see, which is the best quality, which is the faster, and etc. And yeah, I just forgot to show you this one here. Someone will see here, this is run on C++ and also on CPU. So someone will say, I need a floating point 32. It's better than I mean the time. Let's see, the inference time is better than INT8. I will tell you now that some CPUs are not supported for such operations. So it will treat it as the 32 bits or maybe more, because some operations are not supported. But if you use a GPU or maybe let's say a CPU that support this quantization, uh, you will see the difference. And also the quantization, it's needed for any edge devices, keep in mind. Okay, and let me just show you the main. And you can see here the main directory, I mean the ONNX. For the calibration data, I have taken the 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 images that have been used in the training, and this will be of course taken from the config file. So because after the training I will save the model, I mean PyTorch, and plus the config, that the parameters that have been used in the training, and here I will just use that config. So now let's see the C++. Here you can see I haven't changed anything here. Let's see regarding the code in the C++. It's almost the same except the visualization. And let's see here, I have, this is the 32 bits, and this is the 8. And you can see now the difference, let's see, between the running time and score and everything. So for instance, this is 33, 31, and you can see here for the quantized, let's see, static, it's taking much time. But as you can see, the result, let me just show you the result itself. So you can see this is 32. We have seen it last time, but because it's generated a new result, but it's the same. So you can see this is the second image, the third image, but as you can see, some let's see, sports are detected as a defected, but in the original image it's not defected. And now let me just show you the 30 quantize. You can see here it's quite perfect result. And addition to that, I have also added, let's see, clear. I have a Python. I mean, it will just try to do the same stuff as in C++. So not this one. Yeah, this one here. So I'm not quite sure if I still have the parameters. This is a CBB. Where is that? Okay, yeah, let's see. So you can see this is the, it should be detect indeed, but anyway. Here's the parameters. You can see this is the threshold, and I will just put the images with the images and the model itself. So let's see, Python OBB. Now let's see, model should be, let's see, model int8 dot ONNX. The image directory, let me just copy this just to make it. Let's see, Kobe. And you can see now this is the Python, and I will show you now the result of the Python. Open the Explorer. It will save the result here. So this is the model in here, and for the model as well for the 32, it's the same. Let's see F32, and it will save also the result. Something it's not expected. Let me just remove this. Okay. Mm. Saving the images, but yes, see the directory. Oh, you can see it in the code itself. But let's see, CV. Maybe it's inside this. No. So anyway, it's like we can see with the saving image, but we can't detect it. Maybe you can see here the output. It will be still the output. Yes. Let's see print out. Sometimes you need to see where is this is printed. So let's see now. Oops. Visualize it's not, you can see. Now it should see out. Okay, it's output directory. Any output directory. So for instance, this is the 32 bits. And let's see, you just recognize this. You have some spots here. Now we will see Python End here. And 8. So what does that mean? It means Python and C++ now is giving the same result. So you can see this is the Python and his, let's see, not this one, we need this. It's confused now. But you already see I have the same result from both Python and also C++. In terms of quantization, or let's say dynamic, uh, this is end and this is the Python itself. You can see, of course, the difference in time. And I think that's it. Just as a recommendation, try to, if you would like to get, let's say, a better performance, try to quantize your model. You will lose some, let's say, accuracy, but it's better to run it on the. Sometimes you just need to see if it's defected or not. So you don't need to have, let's say, where's the defect. Maybe it's just for instance for the classification. And yeah, if you like this video, please subscribe into my channel, like the video, and of course, if you have any question, just drop it down in the comment below. I will answer it definitely. And maybe next time we will try to see to measure the difference between quantized and non-quantized model on the, let's say, Google Colab. Thanks for watching and see you next time.